You've done everything right, saved for years, maxed out your 401k, maybe even opened a Roth IRA, but now you're 50 and you want to retire early? Here's the problem. Your money's locked up until 59 and a half. Unless you know this one IRS loophole that lets you retire early without paying that 10% penalty. And yes, I'm talking about a real queer-friendly strategy, not some like TikTok hack. Hi, I'm Zann. I talk about queer money, smart investing, and how to make work optional on your own terms. Today, I'm breaking down the real story of a man who retired at 50, totally legally, while paying less than 4% taxes. By the end, you'll know the exact framework he used step by step so you can copy it for yourself or plan your own early exit. Let's go. So meet Jim, 50, single, tech background, lived in Nevada, and earned about $300,000 a year before calling it quits. He saved like a pro. $1.5 million total across his 401k, Roth IRA, and taxable brokerage. He owns his own home outright, worth about $500,000. Spends around $5,000 a month. So far, so good. But here is the catch. His wealth, most of it, is in accounts that he cannot touch until 59 and a half. If he taps into them early, the IRS slaps on a 10% penalty, plus taxes. So how did he retire 9 years early without paying any of those penalties? He used a surprisingly under-the-radar IRS rule called Section 72T. It stands for Substantially Equal Periodic Payments, or SEPP. Here's how it works in plain English. You can pull money out of your traditional IRA before 59 and a half without penalty if you agree to take equal withdrawals every year for at least 5 years, or until you hit 59 and a half, whichever is longer. The IRS gives you 3 approved formulas for how much you can take out. Once you choose one, you are locked in. No skipping, no changing, no oops allowed. If you break the rules, the IRS retroactively hits you with all 10% penalties plus interest. So it's like a deal with the IRS. No penalty, but if you follow our plan, no taxes. Here's how Jim did it. He rolled his old 401k into 2 separate IRAs, one with $600,000, another with $400,000. Why 2? Flexibility. Once you start the 72T withdrawal, you cannot change it. So splitting them now gives him options later. He applied for the 72T plan to the $600,000 account, locking in about $37,000 a year in withdrawals, penalty-free. Now you might be thinking, Zann, that is not even close to a $60,000 lifestyle. Exactly. So here's where it gets fun. Jim's taxable brokerage, around $300,000, pays about 4% in dividends, or about $12,000 a year. Add another $12,000 in long-term capital gains withdrawals. That's $24,000 from his brokerage and $37,000 from his IRA, roughly $61,000 a year to live on, tax efficient and penalty free. Here's where the strategy shines. Because most of that brokerage money comes from qualified dividends and long-term gains, and because Jim's total taxable income lands under $48,350, he hits the 0% capital gains bracket. So even though he's technically living on a $61,000, the IRS only taxes about $46,000 of it after his standard deduction. Result? Only $2,400 in federal taxes. That's an effective tax rate of 3.96%. Let that sink in. He's retired, living comfortably, and paying less in taxes than most people tipping their barista. And since Nevada has no state income tax, that's it. No extra surprise bill. Here's the bigger point. Queer folks, especially single ones, can absolutely design this as an early retirement bridge. You just need to coordinate your accounts smartly so your income lands in that sweet tax window. Now, before you go running off to HR and email them that you're quitting, here's the math that makes it totally sustainable. Jim's portfolio earns about 6.5% average annual return with inflation at 3.25%. We projected it out to age 100, not 80, not 90, because longevity matters, especially for LGBTQ plus singles who may not have like spousal benefits or generational wealth to fall back on. And guess what? His money still lasts. It's the magic of combining early withdrawal strategies and tax planning. It's not just about getting to retirement, it's about staying retired. And for us queer folks, early retirement isn't just a math problem, it's a freedom problem. Freedom from toxic workplaces, freedom to live somewhere affirming, freedom to spend your best years doing what actually matters. So yes, this is about SEPPs and withdrawal rates, but it's also about designing a life where you don't have to hide who you are to afford to live. Retiring early isn't about being rich. It's about being intentional. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half to start living. You just need a plan, a spreadsheet, and maybe a good tax nerd on your side. If you want more queer-friendly money breakdowns like this, hit that next video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.